which would help us improve on the thought processes that we are doing about is very much welcome. But we shouldn't forget that we cannot neglect the Indian tourist. We survive because as of today, our economics show that the domestic tourist spend is more than the international tourist. The international tourist, Ernest, will agree? As of today, it is something which we need to look at. So as we look at changing the scenario, we need to work together. So it's the type of tourist which is coming to making Goa a destination for high quality tourists is something which we are looking forward.
Thank you, sir. We will pause the Q&A session for now. We have amongst us the Honorable Chief Minister of Goa, Dr. Pramod Sawant. I'd like the audience to welcome him to the dais, sir. If I may request you, sir, if you could address the gathering on the work that Goa tourism is doing and how Goa is becoming more and more investor friendly.
Good evening, friends. For the World Travel and Tourism Council, India's initiatives for this program, along with me, our Tourism Minister, Mr. Goan, I think he had already explained each and everything regarding the tourism industry. Before I coming here, he has delivered his speech also, and he interacting with you. I think he has resolved many of your questions. Our GTDC chairman, one who is dynamic, Mr. Dr. Ganesh Kaukar, he is also very much enthusiastic and to resolve the different problems in the tourism line. The chairman of WTT CII, Mr. Dinesh Khanna, yes. Then Secretary General of the WTT CII, Dr. Sujit Banerjee, the Secretary Tourism, Mr. Ravi Dhawan, Director Tourism, Nikhil, and all the members of the WTT CII, invitees, members, and my media friends. Very warm welcome to one and all in this beautiful land of Goa. This is the land of mesmerizing landscape, breathtaking hinterland, and very welcoming people. I'm glad to be the part of this gathering today, wherein all of you who are the part of the World Travel and Tourism Council of India's initiatives. It's an apex industry. It's an apex industry council with a member composed of chief executives of India's foremost airline, the business advisor, hospitality, public sector, and travel service organizations. I'm made to understand that the WTT CII works with the Government of India, the state government, and stakeholders to remove the barriers for growth, creates the strong policy framework to grow and enhance India's travel and tourism sector. As all of you are aware, the Goa is the land of immense opportunities and emerging avenue in the tourism, hospitality, and allied service sector. It is also heartening that the central government, under the leadership of Honorable Prime Minister Sri Narendra Modi ji, is extending all the possible support in every possible sector to enhance the Goa's potential. If you see all around the part of the Goa, there is all the major works is going from the north to south connectivity, MOPA International. I think the Rohan and Ganesh is already discussed. There is so many infrastructures in tourism, in health sector, in everywhere it is going on. As just now the Rohan is discussing about the road, rail, air and water connectivity of the Goa, and with the rest of the world, the best in class, and this makes the Goa, it is rightful to the best and sought after the destination in India. At this junction, I must acknowledge the contribution of WTT CII, which in the year 2002 helped retreat the Goa, the captain of the industries like Sri P.R.S. Oberoi, late Sri Lalit Suri, Sri Krishna Kumar of the Taj Group of Hotels, interacted with the government of Goa and provided many critical suggestions to give the additional push, thereby leading the Goa's tourism for great takeoff. Post-pandemic, the government of Goa has only been the state in India to adopt the WTTC safe stamp, which ensures that the destination of the Goa is following the WTTC Global Safety Protocol for all the domain tourism. Over the year, the member of the WTTC-CI, airline, business advisor, hospitality, public sector, travel service have expanded their footprint. The Taj Hotels has 1,200 plus rooms. The Marriott, Lalit, Caravella, ITC have created the employment, the infrastructures, and airlines like Indigo, SpiceJet, Vistara have joined the Goa, many destinations of India. The travel partners like the Sita and who have contributed to the significant growth footfall in the state of Goa. I also personally appreciate the WTTCI mission to promote, raise awareness and advocates the importance of India's travel and tourism and also the potential to create the job, employment and prosperity across all the sectors of society and contributes to India's and correspondingly Goa's economic growth. It is very heartening to know that the India's upcoming G20 presidency, the WTTCI will be the partnering with the Ministry of Tourism and also the government of Goa having the high-level G20 engagement in the state. This will change the way of the world look at the India's and the brand Goa will be the pitched at the destination of the global recognition. The presence of WTTC global member will definitely elevate Goa's tourism industry and name impetus to the job and growth of the state of Goa. After taking the charge as the Chief Minister of Goa, I have given utmost the importance to the mission of self-reliance, the Goa named as the Swayambhurna Goa. This mission aims to make the Goa self-sufficient and the leader in the various aspects such as the education, sanitation, delivery of the good governance, the promotion of the local entrepreneurs to go global, etc. I am optimistic that WTTCI will always stand up with the Goa and the Goans at this quest of the self-reliance in the tourism and hospitality sector. I urge all the respected representatives of the various famous brands to come forward in the view of scaling and upskilling of the local Goan youth to gain the employability and also to explore the entrepreneurship's aspirations. The little support and hand-holding can make the world different of the youth of Goa, and we are ready to take up the challenges of the new world order wherein the world is a global village. Goa is much behind of only the sun, sand, sea, fish curry, rice. Goa is very fast becoming the famous destination for the wedding destinations. We also promote the Goa as the place for spiritual awakening and pilgrimage destinations. There is a tremendous scope for the health, wellness and medical tourism also. So I look forward to your valuable inputs from the time to time to appeal to all of you to help the endeavors of Goa government to adding the more dimensions in the brand Goa in a favorite tourist destination. I think all of you will always support for the state of Goa in our future journey. So thank you, one and all.
Thank you, sir, for those encouraging words, and let me assure you that WTTCII and all the captains of industry who are present here will always be with you in all your endeavors. Yes, sir. We were having the open house, and may I request Mr. Vikram Madhok, Managing Director of Abercrombie and Kent, to speak after Josna Suri ji has spoken and Sundar Advani ji has spoken. Vikram.
I'll take a mic if you have one.
Abercrombie and Kent.
Thank you, Mr. Banerjee. Thank you, Mr. Chief Minister. Thank you, gentlemen on the head table. I think we are really happy to be here. I wish there'd be more states like Goa in the country. I think about 20-25 years ago, the same energy that we feel in this room, we felt in Kerala. when they coined something called God's own country. I promise you, God's own country can be here and much more if you approach the same approach that they took 20, 25 years ago to actually build a brand into India. And they did it independent of the center. Now, I'm not, of course, you must work in tandem with the center, but having said that, I think it's high time Goa should look at independently branding itself globally, notwithstanding, of course, not attracting, of course, the domestic market is the backbone to your business, but you need both. You need both. You know, Mr. Banerjee spoke about macro and micro. Macro is great. I must say this presentation we saw today was so complete in all aspects. I actually have nothing to add in it. However, the micro details are something. The devil always lies in the detail. So whether you actually get into transportation, it's a big issue. Let me tell you, sir, a moment of truth. When you have these big cruise ships coming, Mr. Banerjee kindly introduced me. I run Abercrombie in Kent, which is the world's largest luxury travel company. We also have a second brand called Cox & Kings. We bought Cox & Kings UK, and we also bought a cruise company called Crystal Cruises. Having said that, when our ships come into Goa, the biggest problem that they have right now is transportation. They don't have quality transportation on the pier. And all the coaches that are there are pretty much run down. And I think if you're talking about international tourism, domestic is one side. Even domestic is actually the mainstay of tourism. If you build infrastructure for domestic tourists, automatically that remains for international tourists. So you should have a two-pronged approach, both for approach for both. Also, there's constantly this bang about metered taxis, and I know it. I face it. I'm a Goa lover. I've been coming to Goa for the longest time. I have family here. I enjoy Goa. It's a big issue, and I think, sir, post haste, you touched upon it. I think everybody's touched upon it. But taxis are a big issue that need to be addressed. Along with that, a little bit about the law and order. The police are a little tough in Goa. I think they need to be also kind of toned down. Cruise ship handling, I mentioned. You also need to look at the docking charges, the port charges, keeping keeping it with what he spoke about, micro, is when the ships arrive. There's chaos at the cruise terminal, and you have 20 kiosks or 20 desks. I think they should all be manned, they should be operational. I think that will, a lot of the travel industry in this room can reinforce this. But when the cruise ships come, they're not able to be cleared in time because they're not able to be processed, even though they have all the required documents. Mopa Airport is going to be a game changer, 100%, of course, but we cannot ignore the fact that it also sits about 80, 90 kilometers away from across Goa. And if somebody is traveling to South Goa, where all the luxury high-end hotels are, some 2,000 plus 500 rooms, if anybody wants to go to the south of Goa, it's a logistical nightmare. And I think you must have this hub and spoke connectivity where people, when they arrive at this airport, which I'm sure you're going to be promoting in a big way. Mopa is going to promote it in a big way by giving a lot of stops for people to come in to that airport. But you have to make it convenient for people to travel between A and B. Last but not least, UK is your biggest market. I know it's a central subject, but I thought we should use your good offices to actually approach the center and say maybe the center is not so, they're not so keen to welcome British tourists to India or for whatever reason. But I think for you, the single largest market is UK. If you do not give them the e-visa on arrival, that e-visa, it is a major deterrent, both for charters, for crews, for across the spectrum. So I would urge you, your good offices, please reach out to the center. And I understand that there's some kind of a little bit of a reciprocity that takes place between government to government. I understand. However, I think we are the ones who would be, we're the ones who will actually benefit a lot more by welcoming UK citizens. My 2.5 minutes under the sun is over, so I'm going to hand back the mic.
Thank you, Vikram. Can I now request Mr. Gurjot Malhi, advisor to CEO Vistara, to say a few words.
Good evening, sir. Thank you for giving me this opportunity. First of all, I was highly impressed with the presentation. The kind of width of activity which are going to take place is mind-boggling. And I think if 80% of them actually fructify, it will be a wonderful place. As it is, it's a lovely place. I come there myself every year at least, if not twice a year. So it has been a lovely place all through. At the airline Vistara, we are thrilled with the new airport. We are happy that the airport has finally come up. The old airport was slot constrained, as you know. We didn't have enough slots there. Now, hopefully, we'll be able to expand our operations and we'll get the slots that we need to get. Secondly, there was also a constraint of flying hours, which hopefully will not exist here, and 24/7 operations can take place. So we are happy with that. It's a good, very good achievement that the MOPA is happening. And MOPA would be a game changer. Certainly, as you mentioned, after Chogam, this is the second big event which is happening. And the airlines are thrilled to be partners in this. There are, as regards the other observations or issues, I think much has been said. I will perhaps repeat some of them. One is, of course, seamless connectivity, which every passenger would want from the airport to wherever he is going. Seamless connectivity is a must. And if you can think of that app-based cabs, that will, of course, anywhere in the world when you travel, an app-based cab is a necessity, whether it's a foreign traveler, as my friend said, or a domestic traveler. That is always very, very useful. The other thing which I want to say is that at the airport, I don't know what can be done at this stage, but I understand that the arrivals and departures